If you see Judge Greenfield, tell him his son.
Eccentric Western Character Actors. The channel for Westerns and more. So, today I want to highlight some Western character actors who really knew how to light up the screen. One of the benefits of being a character actor was you could take more chances and try to stand out. Lead actors had to walk more of a straight line. I'm sure you will recognise most, if not all, of these actors, as they worked for many years. Always a bridesmaid, almost never the bride, with a few exceptions. Some broke the glass ceiling and scored some leading roles. This video is about their supporting roles. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate it. Let's get into it, in no particular order. Walter Brennan, 1894 to 1974. Years active, 1925 to 1972. Arguably the most successful and familiar character actor of American sound films. The only actor to date to win 3 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor. Known for Come and Get It, 1936, Kentucky, 1938, The Westerner, 1940, and Sergeant York, 1941. Although he was known for playing old coot, Southerners, complete with a cackling laugh and thick Southern accent, in reality he had somewhat of a New England accent, being born and raised in Massachusetts. Quote, "I never made a movie I would not take my family to see." George Gabby Hayes, 1885 to 1969. Years active, 1902 to 1956. Character actor, the most famous of Western movie sidekicks of the 1930s and 1940s. He began as something of a leading man and a character player, but he was best known for his numerous appearances in B-Western film series as the bewhiskered, cantankerous, but ever loyal and brave comic sidekick of the cowboy star Roy Rogers and John Wayne. Though a long-time Western star, he didn't learn to ride a horse until he was 50 years old. Inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in 2000, the character of Gabby Johnson in Blazing Saddles, 1974, is a tribute to Hayes. Quote, on John Wayne, "He's my boy. He's the best. Couldn't think more of him if he were my own son." Strother Martin, 1919 to 1980. Years active, 1950 to 1980. Character actor who achieved considerable fame in the last decade of his life. Often appeared in support of John Wayne and Paul Newman, and in Western films directed by John Ford and Sam Peckinpah. Among Martin's memorable performances is his portrayal of the warden, or captain, of a state prison camp in the 1967 film Cool Hand Luke, in which he utters the line, "What we've got here is failure to communicate." The line is number 11 on the American Film Institute list of 100 years, 100 movie quotes. Frequently co-starred with L.Q. Jones, who in real life was one of his closest friends.
Hey, looks like you Yankee boys do all right with the women.
Yes, sir, Captain, and that's a purty toe-headed one you got there.
Hi.
Howdy, Missy.
Hi, Missy.
See what I told you about up north?
Andy Devine, 1905 to 1977. Years active, 1932 to 1977. Rotund comic character actor, known for his distinctive, raspy, crackly voice and roles in Western films, including his role as Cookie, the sidekick of Roy Rogers in 10 feature films. He also appeared alongside John Wayne in films such as Stagecoach, 1939, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and How the West Was Won, both in 1962. He is also remembered as Jingles on the TV series The Adventures of Wild Bill Hickok from 1951 to 1958, as Danny Maguire in A Star Is Born, 1937, and as the voice of Friar Tuck in the Disney animated studio film Robin Hood, 1973.
Mr. Stoddard, I'll be tickled to death to... What was that? Arrest who?
Liberty Valance.
Arrest Liberty Valance? You mean Liberty Valance? Just when I was starting to get my appetite.
Jack Elam, 1920 to 2003. Years active, 1944 to 1995. Colourful American character actor, equally adept at vicious killers or grizzled sidekicks. Best known for his numerous roles as villains in Western films and later in his career, comedies, sometimes spoofing his villainous image. His most distinguishing physical quality was his wandering eye. Before his career in acting, he took several jobs in finance and served 2 years in the US Navy during World War II. Elam performed in 73 movies and at least 41 television series. Quote, "The heavy today is usually not my kind of guy. In the old days, Rory Calhoun was the hero, because he was the hero and I was the heavy, and nobody cared what my problem was. And I didn't either. I robbed the bank because I wanted the money. I've played all kinds of weirdos, but I've never done the quiet, slick type. I never had a problem other than the fact that I was just bad."
I don't want any trouble. I just want to buy my own.
Who are you, stranger? I ain't seen you around before.
I haven't been around before.
You ain't answered his question, soldier.
I think
Slim Pickens, 1919 to 1983. Years active, 1946 to 1983. Pickens spent the early part of his career as a real cowboy and the latter part playing cowboys, and he is best remembered for a single cowboy image, that of bomber pilot Major King Kong waving his cowboy hat rodeo style as he rides a nuclear bomb onto its target in the great black comedy Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, 1964. Brother of Easy Pickens. Quote, in a 1967 interview about appearing in Bonanza, 1959, "I had to wear lifts. I'm 6'3", but alongside Dan Blocker, I guess they thought I looked like Mickey Rooney."
You ain't about to take my neck off with that little old popper.
That's 2.
You'd be lucky you hit the wall.
3.
Arthur Hunnicutt, 1910 to 1979. Years active, 1941 to 1975. Lean, tall American character actor Arthur Hunnicutt was famous for playing humorous, wise, rural roles. Known for his portrayal of old, wise, grizzled characters, he received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in The Big Sky, 1952. He was also known for his role in the Western television series Sugarfoot, 1957 to 1961. Was honorary mayor of Northridge, a suburb of Los Angeles.
Santa Ana. Seems like he wants to make it a game preserve for coyotes. And from what I've heard, we might have a run-in.
John Carradine, 1906 to 1988. Years active, 1930 to 1988. Considered one of the greatest character actors in American cinema, a member of Cecil B. DeMille's stock company and later John Ford's company, known for his roles in horror films, westerns, and Shakespearean theatre, most notably portraying Count Dracula in House of Frankenstein, 1944, House of Dracula, 1945, Billy the Kid vs. Dracula, 1966, and Nocturna, granddaughter of Dracula, 1979. Among his other notable roles was as Preacher Cassie in John Ford's The Grapes of Wrath, father of Chris Carradine, David Carradine, Keith Carradine, and Robert Carradine, adoptive father of Bruce Carradine. inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in 2003. Quote, "I've made some of the greatest films ever made, and a lot of crap too.
Some things folks do is nice, and some ain't so nice. And that's all any man's got a right to say."
Edgar Buchanan, 1903 to 1979, years active, 1939 to 1974. An actor with a long career in both film and television. He is most familiar today as Uncle Joe Carson from the Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and the Beverly Hillbillies television sitcoms of the 1960s. Buchanan appeared in more than 100 films, including Texas, 1941, in which he played a dentist and appeared with William Holden and Glenn Ford, Tombstone, The Man from Colorado, 1948, Shane, 1953, Ride the High Country, 1962, with Randolph Scott and Joel McRae, McClintock, 1963, with John Wayne. Ward Bond, 1903 to 1960, years active, 1929 to 1960, gruff, burly American character actor who appeared in more than 200 films and starred in the television series Wagon Train from 1957 to 1960. Among his best remembered roles are Bert the Cop in Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, and Captain Clayton in John Ford's The Searchers, 1956. Family rumour is that Bond was a roommate at USC with John Wayne, who convinced him to go into acting. They were apparently best friends. One of their favourite activities in their youth was to go to bars, get drunk, and start fights. Quote, "Some of these guys look like I would if I were flying a B-36. I saw one on TV who mounted like an old woman. Then he leans forward, pulls back the reins, and starts flapping his arms. The poor horse didn't know what to do. I guess you could say I'm my own technical advisor on Wagon Train."
Little Robert William Pedro Permanent. Pearly?
Will Geer, 1902 to 1978, years active, 1927 to 1978, was an actor, musician, and social activist. In California, he befriended rising singer Woody Guthrie. They both lived in New York for a time in the 1940s. He was blacklisted in the 1950s by Hollywood after refusing, in testimony before Congress, to name persons who had joined the Communist Party. In his late years, Geer was best known for his role as Grandpa Zebulon, Zeb Walton, in the TV series The Waltons from 1972 until his death in 1978. Geer was an early boyfriend of Harry Hay, the Los Angeles communist and radical who founded America's first large-scale gay activist organization, the Mattachine Society. Quote, "I'm a lifelong agitator, a radical. A rebel is just against things for rebellion's sake. By radical, I mean someone who goes to the roots."
Into the grizzly that bit Jim Bridger's ass. You are molesting my hunt.
And
I know who you are. You're the same dumb pilgrim I've been hearing for 20 days and smelling.
Denver Pyle, 1920 to 1997, years active, 1947 to 1997, a film and television actor and director, well known for a number of TV roles from the 1960s through the 1980s, including his portrayal of Briscoe Darling in several episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, as Jesse Duke in The Dukes of Hazzard from 1979 to 1985, as Mad Jack in the NBC television series The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. In many of his roles, he portrayed either authority figures or gruff, demanding father figures, often as comic relief. Perhaps his most memorable film role was that of Texas Ranger Frank Hammer in the movie Bonnie and Clyde, 1967, as the lawman who relentlessly chased down and finally killed the notorious duo in an ambush. Was originally cast to play Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, 1955, after James Arness turned down his first request to audition for the role.
Everybody knows I'm pure as a driven snow. Howdy, Marshal. You keeping well?
Ken Curtis, 1916 to 1991, years active, 1941 to 1991. considering the kind of scruffy, uneducated Deep South hillbilly types he played, many would be surprised to hear that Ken Curtis was actually born in the South, but in the town of Las Animas, Colorado, the son of the town sheriff. Known as Festus on the TV show Gunsmoke, 1955. Believe it or not, he was the star of many Western musicals. He was a singing cowboy, also in The Searchers, 1956, and even had an uncredited part of Dermot Fay in The Quiet Man, 1952. Inducted as a cast member of Gunsmoke, 1955, into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in 1981. Quote, "I'm really proud of Gunsmoke. We put on a good show every week, one that families could watch together without offending anyone." I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon. The channel for westerns and more.